Co-host First Things First, our buddy Chris Broussard's in New York. Okay, I think I like Boston tonight, and now we find out Miami's missing a starter. Do you like the Celtics tonight? What do you think the game looks like?
I do like the Celtics, and you're right. Look, this is why you got to get series over as soon as you can if you're up 3-0 because of potential injuries. And we know Gabe Vincent isn't a star, but in this series he's averaging 17 points and he's shooting 50% from three. So he's a valuable player, their third leading scorer in the playoffs. So that's big. I'm going to go with the Celtics. And here's the thing, Colin. It's up to the Celtics. Like, they are the more talented team by a wide margin, I'd say. And so the Heat beat you with hustle, with grit, with heart, toughness, and execution, and being well coached. If you match the Heat in heart and hustle and toughness and so on, you'll beat them if you're the more talented team. So if Boston just comes out and plays as hard as it can, as smart as it can in terms of execution, they should win this game. And look, Jayson Tatum has been terrific. We know when his back is against the wall, going back to last year against Milwaukee. So I'm going to go with the Celtics to push this to a game 6 and then put the pressure on Miami.
You know, it's interesting. You say Boston's better by a wide gap. So it is interesting. So I would argue Spo's the better coach by far.
Right.
Butler's the best player in this series. Tatum 2, Jaylen Brown 3, Bam Adebayo 4. And then I think you get into a Marcus Smart, then it's guys that are 11 a game, 12, 13. But when I look at this Miami team with Tyler Hero coming back, have we undervalued Miami's talent? They got a lot of undrafted guys, 4 in the rotation. I get it. But Tyler Hero's 20 a game. Bam in the East, there's an argument. He's around that all-star level. Butler's great. Spo's the best coach. Coaching matters. I mean, I guess if Miami seals this thing tonight without Tyler Hero and without the injured, maybe we've undervalued Miami.
Well, we have, and I'm right there at the top of the list. I certainly have, and if they advance, I'm picking Denver. All right, so I'm going to undervalue them again. But you're right. Look, they've been in how many conference finals now the last few years? 3 in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
This would be their second finals appearance. Part of it is that you mentioned the undrafted players. Jimmy Butler goes from being like an all-star level player in the regular season to a top 5 or 10 player in the playoffs. Bam Adebayo, as good as he is, and he's very good, but he's an undersized center.
Yeah.
They haven't shot the three well during the regular season, at least. They've been good in the playoffs with it. So, and you're right, Tyler Hero is a very good player. He's a scorer, but that's what he is. He's not like a great defender or anything like that, but he's a scorer. So I think all of those things, you look at their roster next to Milwaukee's, next to Boston's, and they just come up short, next to Denver's, and they'll come up short. And so I think those are the reasons we underestimate them. Yeah. What I don't underestimate is their heart and their execution and Eric Spoelstra's coaching ability, which is why I think they give Denver a very tough series. I just would hate to play Miami, Colin. Like, they're just a pest. Right. You know, they're always going to go hard. They're never going to quit no matter how high you get up on them in terms of a margin. They're like that boxer that just won't stop swinging and you can't knock him out. He'll take everything you've got and keep on coming. So I respect them, but I just think there are a lot of teams that have more talent.
Okay, so I didn't know Nick Wright had the same opinion, but my opinion on the LeBron to the Warriors was viewed as wacko and crazy. And my takeaway is LeBron only wants to play for titles. The Warriors love high IQ, experienced players who have been in crisis games. They've already said youth doesn't matter. Wiseman's gone. Kuminga and Moody barely play. They've told you everything's on Steph's timeline. And LeBron, though he can't dominate, I suggested the Lakers owner and GM would like to get some power back. It's LeBron's franchise. And, you know, Wiggins, Poole, Kuminga. Kuminga didn't play in the playoffs. Poole's expensive, but the Lakers with Austin Reeves and Poole, Anthony Davis, Rui, and Wiggins, like, you can't tell me that's not a good team. Why is this so crazy? Do you think it's wacko?
I don't think it's wacko because, first of all, from Golden State's standpoint, Yeah, they look like they're saying, okay, we tried to build on the let's win now and then let's build for, the future, and we can't do it. We have to go all in on now. Why else would they want to bring back a Draymond Green and a Klay Thompson on contract extensions? So you're going for it. You're going to maximize Steph's prime while he's there, which I think is smart. So, yeah, go out and get a LeBron James. For the Lakers, obviously, well, I won't say obviously. If you traded LeBron, there aren't a ton of teams that are going to give you everything for him because that team has to be right there and able to win it next season, right? And a lot of those teams won't have the youth or maybe the draft picks that the Warriors or Lakers would be looking for. Wiggins is he's not a number one, but he's a great number 3. And Poole averaged, I believe, 26 points a game when Steph's injured. So Poole, for all his warts, and he's young, he'll grow, he'll mature, and you get him away from Draymond, that's probably a good thing. Look, Colin, I like the idea, and I'm not necessarily pushing this, but I do like the idea of LeBron playing with the Warriors now better than had he done it, say, 6-7 years ago in his prime. And not just because it would have been over for the rest of the league, but LeBron would have been dominating the ball. That beautiful offense would have ceased to exist, and Steph and Klay would have been spot-up shooters. They would have won just because they would have had such great talent, but it wouldn't have been as fun to watch. If he were to go there now, and I don't think it's going to happen, but if he somehow ended up there, he could play that Kevin Looney position, and obviously he's going to score 20, 25 points a game, rebound, play defense. Like, he would be great there now because he's willing to fit into a system now rather than come in and be the system and everything revolves around him. The question is, a lot of people wouldn't like to see that, Colin. And a lot of people would rip LeBron for that because it's like, well, you went to Miami, stacked the deck. You went to Cleveland, made sure they got Kevin Love for Andrew Wiggins. You went to Los Angeles, made sure they got Anthony Davis. Now you're joining Steph? Like, these are the two preeminent players of this era. This would be like Magic running to play with Bird or Bird running to play with Magic. And so he would get a lot of heat for that. But, hey, a ring's a ring. So he would win rings, I'll tell you that much.
It's the Kyrie Irving situation. He goes to Laker games. We talk about it. Then he's upset. We talk about it. When you hear that, I do think he fits. Now, I would take Trae Young over him because Trae is more durable, plays more minutes, is a younger version. I don't think he's quite as erratic personally. So I don't know if the Lakers have anything to get Trae Young. But the Kyrie stuff to the Lakers, he does fit. Would they take the call and consider it?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't want to give up Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. So if I could get Kyrie and keep those guys, there's a few others I'd love to keep, but definitely those two. And I think it would be important for the Lakers to have control of the situation, meaning that you don't give up all your players for Kyrie. You certainly don't give up like the guys I mentioned, and now you're top heavy with AD, LeBron, and Kyrie because all those guys are injury prone. And so if you have no depth, you would be in trouble in the regular season if one or two of those guys gets hurt, not to mention the playoffs. But I definitely look at it. My ideal, if I'm the Lakers, is for Kyrie to fit in at $32 million a year, starting at that salary. Now, that's $15 million less than he can get in a max deal, so I don't know that he'll like it. But look, Kyrie, for his Instagram post, I haven't made my decision. It's not really his decision that much. He's obviously got a say, but it's not like teams are going to be bending over backwards to get Kyrie Irving. I mean, maybe Phoenix, Dallas, but I think Dallas has more leverage than they seem to know, and the Lakers. That's maybe it. And the teams with max cap space are young. Orlando, Charlotte, they have LaMelo Ball. San Antonio, about to bring in Wembanyama. Like, they're not going to want Houston. I don't see them wanting Kyrie Irving. So the Lakers, I do believe, should explore this. If they can get him for the right money or get him without losing some of their other players, then I would definitely look at it. Because, Colin, What cost them against Denver, one of the main things, was they couldn't close. All right, those games were close.
Yeah.
And Denver had a closer in Jamal Murray. And by that, I mean, like, LeBron obviously can close games. But he has to get to the rim and hit a layup to close the game at this point. He might hit a jumper, but he's not a great shooter. What they had in Denver was a great shooter that could create his own shot and give him a little space, and he's going to hit it, Jamal Murray. That's what Kyrie Irving is. Like AD, you can't count on him to close. LeBron, you're not always going to be able to get to the rim. Kyrie Irving can create the space and hit the shot in the clutch, and that's what they need, and nobody knows that better than LeBron.
Chris Broussard, co-host First Things First, does The Odd Couple with Rob Parker on radio. As always, my friend, great seeing you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.